that attack from the back line. Ready to go as the rain just starts to pitter-patter down here at Dorrance Field, and we are underway. North Carolina, Virginia Tech on a Sunday evening in Chapel Hill. Already a long run here for Nacho Abial. He is going to catch up to it for a moment. Dispossessed by Noe Uemana, and he is going to earn the free kick. Our first whistle of the game from our terrific referee, David Erbacher. Here's Amir Arieli, number 2, the left back for Virginia Tech. Sam Joseph clears the danger. Arieli had a really strong game against Louisville the last time out for Virginia Tech. Unbeaten now in their last 4. Hokies 3 wins and a draw, including 2 straight wins. Got their first ACC victory against Louisville in that all-important 2-0 W. 3 points 8 days ago on Senior Day. A brace for Dagger Traustason, who is the reigning ACC Offensive Player of the Week. A big number 13 in the middle. The Icelandic native freshman from Reykjavik scored 5 of his 6 goals in the last 2 games, in a hat trick in the midweek and then a brace against Louisville. And in a lot of ways, he is the engine for this team. We know that they don't concede. Virginia Tech's only given up 9 goals all season, and that's in 11 matches. It's less than a goal per match. But can they find the back of the net? That's been the question all year long. Only 15 goals on the season, and Traustason has 6 of them. Evan Schroeder, senior from Atlanta, spent his first 2 years at Georgia State. Last year came off the bench, and now a starter for Mike Brizendine in the back. Just kept in by Uemana. He'll get a little shove, but play on as Jack Sandmeyer pushed him off the ball. This call is going to be made, though, as Giannis Pelletras commits a foul.
Don't be surprised to hear comments like that all night long. Physicality from North Carolina, one of the biggest assets that they have to their advantage. You'll see an ever-rotating back line that's really aggressive. They play up high, repress. Important that they instill that early on, Alex, given the midweek loss. Get themselves back on track. Positive thinking to propel them forward to a good result.
Certainly a Wednesday night that everybody surrounding the Tar Heels program is going to want to forget. 2-1 loss to UAB, who was number 175 in the RPI at the time. They're trying to get that bad taste out of their mouth here on the weekend. Uemana just inside the box, goes to the far post. A chance again, and that one missed as well. How many opportunities? Declan Quill so close to getting the opener here, less than 4 minutes in.
Not just great ball movement, it's the next evolution for the Virginia Tech Hokies. Watch the right side, center of your screen. Yes, you get your striker, Traustason, to push in, but at the second and third level, really manipulating the overall shape for the Tar Heels. Difficult as a defender, Alex, to step off the back line and come up high because you're expecting the threat closer. Great interchange.
Joao Felicio. Here's Traustason, sent away by Emmanuel Mate. And we're going to get the offside flag up. Mate, the Canadian international playing for the under-20 team for UNC. A terrific left back, was called in for last year's CONCACAF under-20 championships. You see that he is part of the Vancouver Whitecaps Academy in his youth.
I mentioned what the Tar Heels needed. Virginia Tech just got a good look at it. Can't all be Traustason up top in the 9. He's the focal point. He will be played into a lot. You will be expansive to get him forward facing in the box. With the reference of the next evolution. Now it's numbers game for VTech in the final third.
Traustason gets behind the back line, but help comes. Closed down by Riley Berge. Looked like Traustason might be in, but Mate did just enough to allow Berge to stymie the effort. Talk about stingy teams. North Carolina's defense is just that as well. They've only allowed 8 all season long. And there's Dylan Kropp. This is exactly what we were talking about. Getting this offense started, pinging a long ball as it comes down to Bertil Rygaard Hansen. Back to the top of the box. That one took a deflection off Luka Nikolai and out on him for a goal kick.
When you think about attacks, you don't normally talk about defenders, but Dylan Kropp, number 4 for North Carolina, just pops off his foot. They like to play in transition, and if you watch him as the night goes on, every touch that he gets is always getting the ball in front of him, clean to set up an option to quickly spring an attack, especially the way they like to utilize the width.
Hokies have certainly had more of the ball in the early going. North Carolina trying to settle into this one offensively and just relieve some pressure, and that is where Kropp really comes in. Once again, they look direct here to Traustason. Callum Frogson up ahead to Nikolai. The German native from Dusseldorf came in from James Madison. A lot of transfers on this North Carolina team. 6 starters from the portal, including half of their back line, Devin.
The modern game in college soccer, evolution of what recruits you're going to chase and when. I feel like that's a tease of something to talk about later, maybe a little bit early on, but some proposed changes that could be headed our way. Mike Brizendine and Carlos Semwano not afraid to go out into the transfer market to get not only what they need right now, but set up their vision for the future.
There's Andrew Czech. Czech, a 3-year starter. Number 27 in Carolina blue for the Tar Heels. Frogson a little loose, but that works for Bergie. Just trying to get it over the midline now as Mate does that himself. His high press has been effective early on here for Virginia Tech. We'll ping that wide to Nikolai, running on top of it. Bertil Rygaard Hansen, but he can't catch up to. So early on, we've seen, North Carolina trying to absorb that pressure and then go over the top and trying to get a run down that right side.
They tend to favor the right flank a little bit more, and the reason being in the build is they have stability at the center back position over there. It started the year very linear in nature, Alex, playing in this 5-back system that sat deep. Now as they've worked a little bit more into a 4, and that will change over the course of the night, they like to hold Callum Frogson, but they'll release Mate on the left side. So you've got that stability. You ping there. That allows the right winger to come higher, be more aggressive. And certainly Dylan Kropp loves to hit that long diagonal to be able to spring them coming forward.
Just like you were saying, there's Mate on the charge. Good tackle in by Bellatrash. Frogson. Nikolai in for the leading scorer, leading assist man, leading points getter for UNC. Nacho Abial tried the backflip, had Bracken Sarah, but keeps it going. Now here's Bracken Sarah to the byline, whips it in, but the flag is raised.
This will be the cat and mouse game all night, though. Not just the near run that we just saw with Nacho Abial and Uimana, but on the far side with Felicio. Head coach Mike Brizendine for Virginia Tech, he wants his outside backs to play high, allows the midfield to be more aggressive, be more expansive in combination play and spring this front 3. But as you go, you also open up space in behind. So it's the balance of understanding sometimes, Alex, just because I can make that run, should I? Right? That's communication. You don't always have to step into the space, and recognizing with the aggression of the back line for the Tar Heels when exactly to ping one over the top and reset your defensive line.
Booted forward by Arieli. It has been really difficult for North Carolina to advance the ball here throughout the first 10 minutes or so. Game plan working for Mike Brizendine. who has 6 NCAA tournament appearances, all of them coming between 2016 and 2021. 6 straight, but he's really trying to get back there. And this Virginia Tech team, with a few wins at the end of the season, is in position, but that's the key, right? They have to finish out this year strong.
Certainly, it would take some pressure off if they do it now, right? Especially against a Tar Heels team that was just 13, even though they've dropped a little bit up to 25. It still pads the resume of the Hokies overall.
And on the road, too.
What you don't want to do is feel a lot of pressure because of a loss or two down the stretch coming into the ACC tournament. Then you play scared. The fear makes you back off the game a little bit. You want the exact opposite. You want to hit tournament time thinking, we can do anything we want because of recent results. And to be fair to both of these teams, outside of the slip-up midweek for North Carolina, the stability factor and the aggression has really been on the uptick for both squads.
Sam Joseph, the excellent keeper, coming in from UCLA before the season, made 18 starts there in his time in Westwood. Mike Brizendine said he thought they might take a step back after Cooper Wenzel left last year, but Sam has kept that standard up, no question. Ian Marcano finds Perez, has some space on the right side. Perez, Mate's in his hip pocket, and he comes right away with it. Oh no, and now he's holding his hamstring. Bracken Sarah, Rygaard Hansen, Nacho Abial, back to Rygaard Hansen, and he's nowhere near goal, and Mate is down on the ground. He
excellent defending to start this
hamstring, yeah.
From Mate. He knew it right away, but go back to the incredible step up from the freshman. Really difficult. You get down to the end line, your hips get square, that quick change of direction, his long physical frame able to get out in front, and you know, they've kept an eye on him. Didn't come in fully healthy into the season. They've slowly eased him into it. And the hope on the back end of this is that Mate is pulling up lane just because he felt a little tug, Alex, and they're taking him off to protect him, not something that's going to turn into a long-term injury.
Mate is so important, not only on that back line, but as we've seen, initiating the attack up that left side.
The bigger concern in the moment right now isn't just Mate. They lost their starting wingback when they were sitting in a 3 early on this season, Max Fisher, against NC State. So now it's just not that player. You're looking 3, possibly 4 deep into your bench, immediately trying to make an impact in this game.
Well, next week's featured ACC Network Women's Soccer Top 10 doubleheader. This is a good one. Thursday night, 6 Eastern. It's third-ranked Virginia hosting number 7 Florida State. Brian Penske's Seminoles at Klockner Stadium. And then top-ranked Notre Dame in Blacksburg. They'll take on Virginia Tech. Both also available on the all-new ESPN app. So the first sub of the match is going to be Ryan Dugan coming in. Freshman for freshman.
Ran into Florida State in the Atlanta airport last week.
Florida State women.
Yes.
Brian Penske's a good guy. They are so talented.
It makes me feel bad about what I thought I used to be able to do. Watching what those young women are capable of. They're incredible. National title contenders once again.
Always. All right, so this is interesting. We've seen Callum Frogson go over from the right side to the left side now to fill that, and it looks like are they playing a 3-back here, Tim?
Give it a minute. Yeah,
we don't know yet.
It's very fresh, and it's also coming off a set piece. One would imagine that the success that they've had defensively, they would try and shift into a 4 here. What they can do, because Dugan plays a little bit higher, I mentioned the 3-back early, you could pull Nikolai onto that back line. Frogson's familiar any 4 positions on the back side of things. So if you pull him to the left, and that looks like what they're going to do in the moment, Nikolai will come deeper and Dugan will push up top. He's more of an attack-minded player, so you want him higher up the field.
There's Nikolai, the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year with JMU last season, a freshman All-American his first year with the Dukes. All right, so already a bit of a wrench thrown into the plan of Carlos Samuano, but after 15 years at the helm of one of the top programs in the country, you are well aware that adjustments are needed throughout a season and certainly throughout a match at times. Ariella catches up to it. Rygaard Hansen is going to keep it, though, with UNC for a moment, but it's last touchdown in Tar Heels. And there's Dugan. Very talented freshman. Trained with the St. Louis City Academy. You had the chance to check out the MLS part of that academy yesterday.
Saw the first team, saw the academy. David Critchley has taken over the senior squad. John Hackworth in charge of the twos. Certainly Dugan's going to be familiar with both of those men. They've done a really nice job of absorbing a lot of talent in the area. Scott Gallagher working together and continuing to push players to great things, both in college and on the pro level.
Here's Uemana, a junior from Austin, back to Perez.
Apparently the rain followed me, though, by the way. Sorry about that.
Well, at least it's not like the deluge that you guys had in St. Louis. Thankfully, though, you were able to get out and make your way here to Chapel Hill. Oh, big collision. Amir Arieli went down. Play on. Advantage given. Inside looking for Bracken Sarah. Frogson up to join the attack. And Nikolai's certainly playing a bit further back now on that left side, occupying Frogson's spot as he, or right side that is, switching over to the left, Frogson. The sun's beginning to shine here in North Carolina, hopefully on both teams' offenses as well. Not much in terms of opportunities yet early on. And we are going to get a free kick, though, in a dangerous position earned by Czech.
Watch the counter on far side of the field. This is where decision-making has to be at a premium. Carolina great on the back line, go to the midfield. Notice the space on the top left side of your screen. That's the advanced run of Luka Nikolai and the closed-off vision of Andrew Czech. In the moment, it's emotional. Your defender has come out, a change. And really, one of the more advanced positions we've seen, got to stay calm. Allow yourself to see every option available. Cleaner ball in, comes back across, and it's 1-0 Carolina.
Bracken Sarah's over it for UNC. Marcano.
You're good, AP, you're good.
Nice crowd continuing to file in here. I would think that the change in weather is going to help if someone's out there under the shade, trying to shield themselves from the rain. They come back over to the main stand. Marcano. Perez alleviates some pressure, and now he goes over the top to his big freshman, Traustason. And Traustason is going to earn the first booking of the match. That was not a difficult decision by David Urbacher and Riley Berge's book.
When we came into the game, we talked about Traustason and what he does in the box, and I used the word manipulate. Still watch his body. Great job physically, although he's not overly encompassing the size of the back line there. Does a great job of using his big, tall frame, plays the angles game to get in front and create the set piece.
Not your left, you can't get the ball. Second ball.
Perez goes to the far post. Dealt with by Dugan.
18.
Marcano goes back into Evan Schroeder getting forward. And that one's seen out by Frogson. Callum Frogson in a bit of a new role. Originally from Nottingham, England. Spent his first 2 years at Division II Fort Hays State. And then last year was at Florida Atlantic, where he was a member of the second team all-conference. Well, if he's a Forest fan, he's not very happy with the way that they've started their season. And they're looking for a new manager after Ange Postecoglou fired just 19 minutes after final time In a 3-0 loss to Chelsea yesterday.
In the tunnel, man. My man couldn't even get a post-game press conference going, you know, a banana.
Yeah, I don't even think he could have gotten a beverage at that point. Evangelos Marinakis, the owner, had seen enough in about the 70th minute. He left his seat, and you kind of knew that that was going to be curtains for Big Ange. Quill. Reverses. Too heavy. A lot of this game played in the midfield so far. And there's Mate. Yeah, he's got a big ice pack wrapped around his hamstring, left hamstring there.
I'd still go back to the fact that it's been about 10 minutes, that's precautionary. That's the hope, right? I mean, that's what you're looking at if you're Carlos Zamorano, head coach of the Tar Heels, that, okay, you felt something, let's shut it down. Still so many valuable games down the stretch for this team, and they've hit a real rhythm that you really don't want to disrupt.
Tar Heels will close at Syracuse on Saturday, and then they'll host Duke. Everybody has that one circled on Halloween night. A spooky good time, you might say, right here at Dorrance Field. Quill. Traustason thought about it and then decided to go for his run, never got there. UNC working hard to just try to win this ball back from Virginia Tech.
They've done a good job of holding possession, Virginia Tech. The problem they're dealing with right now is Belitrache is kind of playing hide and seek on that left side. So Marcano, Alvarez, side by side, they need more depth, and the proximity needs to be closed down.
That was an excellent ball, but Perez just couldn't hold his run.
What you're seeing is them resorting to long balls up over the top. They're losing a lot of the one-on-one battles, offside or not in that situation. If you triangulate yourself in the midfield, the outside backs are becoming more aggressive. You have stepping stones now. Instead, you're coming right off the back line, and they're playing high. North Carolina is too good physically at winning the first ball, and then the midfield converging in to pick up possession. Just need better communication in central locations.
Devin, we see Virginia Tech trying to go over the top there, and we'll table that for a second as Bracken Sarah tries to catch up to it. Arieli is going to earn a corner, but just real quick, this back line is now obviously different with Mate being out, so how much of an impact does that have in terms of holding your line?
The only difference is the, we'll say, rambunctiousness of what you would get out of Mate, who would pivot high. We mentioned earlier Frogson would stay. Now it just becomes more right side dominant. Now they always like to play through Nikolai in general, but now Nikolai will play high and be aggressive. He'll try and be more connective with Dugan. Actually might even make the argument, creates better balance overall because you're less predictable in the overall build. And the only thing you have to be careful of is because you hold Frogson here, you still need to make sure that you're giving Nacho Abial enough components when he releases on the left.
No, I understand. It has to be clear. They don't want us to let everything play out. I got you. Tom, do you want someone in?
Uemana is going to walk off. Interesting to hear the conversation there with the fourth official.
What's up?
So Uemana, after getting attention, is going to have to go to the sideline for Mike Brizendine.
Hace sentir importante.
It's going to be Bracken Sarah to take the corner. First one of the match.
Come down! Hey, who's down? Who's with Keith? All right.
Waiting for a sub to be introduced, and that's exactly what happens as Tito Peralta is going to come onto the pitch. Freshman from Madrid.
Toes! Tito, you play right back? Yeah. Big him here, big boy! Away! Me!
Going for the far post, looking for the big Dylan Kropp, and Sam Joseph out to claim. Strong. It's Felicio, Portugal native. Bertie up to get it. Marcano trying to spring bell at Trosh. Frogson's there. And Cordes just says, I'm not dealing with that. Neither are you. First time we've mentioned Andrew Cordes, though, the senior from Denver, the goalkeeper for the Tar Heels, was third on the depth chart in 2023 and then was up to #1 after injuries the next season, or that season, 1 win shy of College Cup. He's been the starter ever since. It really gives him a lot of experience, as Noe Uemana is going to be the one that comes out for Peralta, or rather is reintroduced into the game. Good to see him back there after taking that knock. Rygaard Hansen stays with it. He's got help to his left. Can he find it? Fizzes it. Picks out his pass to Bracken Sarah. Nikolai. Was promising right there. Abel. Uemana in hot pursuit. Or in the corner though. Denies the service, but second quarter of the match coming for UNC.
Hey, Mark.
Well done, quickly coming back in for Noe Uemana. Love the footwork here from the defender, especially as aggressive as Abel is when he gets the ball in front of him. Doesn't take the bait, just continues to steer him to the end line. It's textbook defending.
Ready, boys, be big, be big. No, keeper. Ready, ready, ready.
Bracken Sarah again.
Take your time, bro. No. Ready, boys, go. Away!
Pretty good ball in that time. Whipped out. Felicio for Virginia Tech. Just didn't get it right.
I'd like to see a little more movement into this front two for the Tar Heels. Rygaard Hansen and Bracken Sarah. And the reason being right now, they're occupying the center backs, but they're allowing both outside backs, Felicio and Uemana for Virginia Tech, to keep control. So if you start to work a little bit more in tandem, not only can you shift the game to your benefit, but it also makes Virginia Tech a little bit more one-sided. It's more difficult for them to build out of the back, too comfortable right now.
This match is uncomfortable. Sam Joseph, he's a footballer too.
Easy, son. Halloween's next week. He's got the 10 costume on. Don't mind if you do.
He's scaring everybody on that Virginia Tech bench.
And this is his first touch is good, just good pace by Rygaard Hansen to step in, and quick little pullback. That'll be bulletin board material at some point in time.
A lot less impactful if they come out of here with 3 points away from Dorrance Field.
It's also one where head coach Mike Brizendine walks into the locker room and says, "That's great. No more, please. Please stop that."
Arieli. Schroeder check that. Up to Perez. Takes it back after the deflection. Rygaard Hansen can absolutely fly, just couldn't catch up to that one. Bracken Sarah, did he stay on? Yes, he did. Rygaard Hansen off the mark. First shot of the evening for UNC 25 minutes into the match.
Why does it happen, though? Quick, clean decision-making coming out of the middle. There's the physicality I talked about, winning the second balls. Bracken Sarah, link-up play. It's a good ball back across. You'd like a little bit off of it as it hops up off the deck. More difficult for Rygaard Hansen to handle. He also opens his hips trying to produce something incredible into the top corner. But an efficient move by the Tar Heels coming forward.
UNC head coach Carlos Zambrano boasts about his speed. It changes matches. And we saw there very nearly giving North Carolina the opener here at home. Czech earning the foul. Abial in the corner. Get ready for the long throw. Using all the real estate he's got out there on the sideline. Looking for that big head of Jack Sandmeyer. Not just big head, big frame is really what I guess I should probably say from Sandmeyer, the grad student from San Diego, 6'6". He's a big target. Dugan. That's easy for Joseph.
As much as I talk about the inability for Virginia Tech to link up at times, you got to tip the cap to both Andrew Czech and Sandmeyer, two midfielders for North Carolina, covering a lot of ground, winning all these first balls that are sprayed in, adjusting on the second balls coming off the back line. They have a ton of ground coverage, and it's really prohibiting Virginia Tech's ability to play through the middle.
So far for North Carolina, we have seen so much of the ball in the midfield, not very much in that final third, but that is a real strength here for the Tar Heels this season. That hit Urbacher 3 times, and eventually it's going to have to earn a stoppage. Generally, the first time is good enough.
Little birthday present for our head referee, David Urbacher. Got to know better than that, buddy.
Celebrated one yesterday.
I'll talk to the assessor about that positioning in the moment.
Uemana earns possession. Krop is there for a moment. And finally cleared away by Czech to Bracken Sarah. Over the top it goes to Rygaard Hansen. Joseph calm, cool, and collected. A lot of direct play. This one chases Declan Quill all the way over to the far side. He's converged on. Bellatrausch has it with some room. A little bit too light there with the cross. Here comes Abial with a full head of steam.
Little things like that won't show up on a statistician's sheet, but they'll show in the film room. The ball that comes in, Callum Frogson, the header to bring it to the outside, takes pressure off the defensive shape, starts to reset the line, come high. Abial gets back into the flow of the game and creates rhythm. These are the types of things that, as the year goes on, as a manager for either one of these teams, you're hoping to see development in from your players. Really well taken by Frogson.
Beltran Alvarez holding down that defensive midfield, but Sandmeyer rips it away. Sandmeyer, Rygaard Hansen. Abial takes a deflection that hit Schroeder last. So far, no corners for Virginia Tech. This is the third now for UNC, as we have a couple of subs coming in with Parker O'Farrell and the very talented freshman Dank Klink. Tuesday night, a special conversation with North Carolina men's basketball head coach Hubert Davis coming your way as he opens up about a variety of topics. He'll get candid about what it means to him to carry on the legacy right here in Chapel Hill. Coverage at 8 Eastern on ACC Network. You can watch it on the all-new ESPN app. So Rygaard Hansen and Bracken Sarah, the ones that are exiting. Both putting in a very strong shift. Let's see how they utilize Dank Klink, the reigning National Gatorade Player of the Year from Moncton, Maryland, as he wears the number 9 for Carolina. Yeah, they're looking for him, and they got him. Dank Klink with his 4th goal of this season. That's the opener, and that's why they brought him here to Dorrance Field.
Mismatch on the back post here, not just the 6'4" frame of Dank Klink, but he's got 6'6" next to him, and Jack Sandmeyer, the holding midfielder, dominated from a positional standpoint, right up over the top, maybe gets away with one. As you see the protest from Uimana, the arm up over the defender, creating the contact. It's negative in nature. You want them to jump straight up. His positioning drifts in. Even if it's not called, great job from the substitute, driving through that ball to pick out the corner.
They're not going to look at it. And it is the opener for North Carolina in the 31st minute. Much, much needed after Wednesday night falling 2-1 to UAB. Not a result that anybody would have expected. And they are trying to get that taste out of their mouths here back in ACC play. Get 3 important points, because right now they are sitting 9th in the table. You have to be in the top 8 in order to host a first-round match in the ACC tournament. Maybe a lightning strike here for 2. Dugan was all over it. Bellatrash comes away with it for Virginia Tech. Marcano sensing pressure, Uimana. And now space opens for Bellatrash. Bellatrash has some help with Alvaro Ruiz Mateos and looked for it, but didn't get the weight of that pass right. Bellatrash, the Paris native, came over from UCF, was there for 2 seasons, 3 goals, 2 assists, and 29 starts. All right, Devin, well, the Tar Heels got that goal that they were looking for against the run of play. It was their first shot on goal, first of the match, though, so far. And they had been threatening Sam Joseph, but nothing too crazy. And they are the ones who find themselves on the good side of the scoreline.
Time for a response, though. If you're Mike Brizendine in Virginia Tech, he's brought in reinforcements on the front line. Now we're going to talk about their movement. Declan Quill, as he moves into that center spot, they've played high. I'd like to see them drop a little bit now. Try to get that back line, entice them into the space. Then you start to hit those diagonals and play into the creases. That type of ball like that, but the starting point for the back line of North Carolina, 10 yards in front.
Second ball to Ruiz Mateos. Uimana venturing even further forward now. Felicio was Abubakar Mayanja coming in number 8 in Carolina blue. The freshman originally from Uganda. Spent his youth in New York City, though. Uimana. Ruiz Mateos for Marcano.
Oh, it's easy.
Challenge from Krop. And he's going to get away with it. Message sender there.
It's a great angle by Dylan Krop. Thought it was in from behind, though, and it is. That's out behind the shoulder. If you come square on, you'll be able to get away with it. And I'll stick up for any defender, especially a center back. But in that situation, just a little bit late over the shoulder, that should have been a foul in the moment.
Hey, we gotta dig it. We need more. Let's go. Four. We got number 4. Huh? Hey,
Marcano is just so important to this team. Only a sophomore. Has been in really excellent form. Assists on 2 of Dagger Traustason's 5 goals last week. He's still down.
Just wait. They might change some shit. Run here. Go over there. That guy's like. Who's 4? I got 7 when it comes. Who's 4? Why are we not setting it up now?
So North Carolina with this 1-0 lead as we get further and further toward halftime. A team that doesn't concede a lot either. The Tar Heels only 8 goals allowed so far this season. You can see the 7 clean sheets, tied for second in the conference. It is no easy task to score on this team. So there is definitely a bit of a mountain to climb right now for Virginia Tech and Mike Brizendine.
We've discussed the physical side of the game for North Carolina, and that's at every level, to be fair, but it starts with the back line. Good organization by Andrew Cortez in goal. What you can't allow them to do is make the immediate decision. What do I mean by that? If you're Virginia Tech and you push this high, you have to end the play here. That ball's got to be a shot on target. It's got to go over the end line and you're pointing to a corner or a goal kick. It's got to be a foul. When that happens, you prohibit their ability to quickly step out.
They're coming back the other way.
And people think at home, oh, finish the play. Yeah, not every move is going to be a goal. But by making the actual play stop, even if you don't get a goal out of it, a manager will tell you, you've disrupted their rhythm. They no longer have the chance to hit that outlet ball and bring their line up high.
So is that when North Carolina is at its best, on the counter with that live turnover?
That's, talk about Dylan Kropp, his decision-making, that long diagonal ball. The first one that comes out to Abeal. Their second and third balls, when they pick these up, they're not dilly-dallying. Now, they're good with the ball at their feet, North Carolina, but they would much rather progress the game up and then make you work for it on the opposite end of the field, as opposed to Virginia Tech's preference, which is totally fine. They're tacticians. Sometimes death by 1,000 touches, but they're good enough to pick you apart. Just struggling right now with some decision-making up high.
Ugo Bertelli is going to come in for Marcano for the moment. Talk about transfers. He comes in from Campbell after a couple of seasons. Yeah, we've got a lot to do once these zeros hit here in the first half.
Tell me.
You don't want to go anywhere. I mean, look at this. We're going to talk about the midseason watch list, the Herman Trophy, the Heisman Trophy, if you will, of college soccer. Those names have been released, and Devin is going to give us his top 4. You do not want to miss that. Some proposed NCAA soccer changes by U.S. Soccer, and we'll get into that a lot more as halftime continues. And then, of course, highlights and stats. I know we're going to see Dank Klink's goal again.
Figured it was about time I got myself excluded from some Christmas lists on some of the players I'm not going to be talking about. Making some friends in other areas.
Yeah, but you might get, I mean, you might reap some benefits that outweigh the negatives.
Absolutely.
From the 4 that you actually
I love that way you phrase it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a glass half full type.
Absolutely. Silver lining. I'll take
exactly,
it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Not everybody's from the ACC. There is another conference, ladies and gentlemen. 210 teams in men's Division I college soccer. A plethora of talent, and we're going to get an opportunity to showcase some of the best and brightest at halftime.
So Carlos Zamorano now has an effective in-game timeout to go over some strategy with his players, and thankfully Marcano is able to get up. They're attending to his upper body, and hopefully Marcano is able to continue, because you talk about an engine in that midfield for Virginia Tech. He certainly is, with all that experience. 26 starts in just, what, 1 3/4 seasons, basically, as a sophomore. 11:22 to go. Alex Perlman, Devin Kerr with you here. What has turned into a beautiful night in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It was raining just a little bit, kind of a pitter-patter at the beginning of this match, but that has lightened up even though there are some grayish skies overhead. I cannot complain from what we have experienced here in a lot of ways, the preeminent college soccer stadium in the country. All right, ready to go with a long throw from Dank Klink. The 6'6" Sandmeyer gets his head to it. Recycle it for Quill. That's into Frogson. Felicio. Ayanja was given chase. So Uimana switching now to that left side. And we see Felicio over in his right back spot. So a little fullback swap there. Do you think that's to exploit a matchup? They want to get a little bit more.
Just changing up the rhythm. That's not an unnatural position for Uimana. They primarily utilize him at the left back position. Last year, the year prior, they had him over on the right. So bouncing back and forth, not uncharacteristic. It is a new look for the freshman from Portugal, Felicio. What I'd like to see them do is come up high and help squeeze a little bit. This front three, I talk about movement. If they narrow their runs, it will allow your outside backs to get higher, and there's the stepping stones that I talk about when you create combination play with the midfield.
Bellatrash. Here's Dugan, who has had to play a majority of this first half thanks to the unfortunate injury earlier on to Emmanuel Mate. Schroeder. Uimana.
Good stab.
Krop takes it right away. Leads the break himself. Krop
Hit it.
cuts it back to the right. Krop sizes it up and gets it all wrong.
Really enjoy watching this young man, Dylan Krop, play. Transferred over from Xavier. Really good with the ball at his feet, initially reading it, timing that step up. As a coach, you're holding your breath, because if he exposes you, you're in real trouble with the space in behind. That's the IQ of Dylan Krop. Tired legs on the tail end of it, but a beautiful move of about 70 yards from the central defender from the Tar Heels.
Bertelli. Felicio to Bellatrash. And he gasps here from Virginia Tech offensively at the end of this first half. They are still without a shot on target on Andrew Cordes. We've mentioned him once today. That really tells you enough, I think, about this back line that we have seen so far. Lets it go by, and it was just in front of Butel. Colin Butel, who checked in recently, the freshman from Germany. That was your golden opportunity right there.
What a ball, the way that he shapes this thing. Great speed, bringing it back across. A nightmare for a defender. Alex, as you're Nikolai, when you're stepping in there, your eyes are on your goalkeeper to see if he's coming out, where the ball's coming from, which means your weak side over the back shoulder, you're blind. You have no clue what's going on. He's got no defensive support. Even when we talk about levels, connections for Virginia Tech, that ball right there, you're just stepping up the next one. Maybe it's not A to B to C. You bypass it, but it's the first time all game that we've seen it. Great look.
That loose pass, though, is going to end up with Frogson going in the book. You know, got all ball there, but on the follow through.
Well, that's more intent studs up coming through. Just too aggressive for the liking of our head referee, David Erbacher. Hard to argue against.
So Frogson joins his backline teammate Bergie in the book. Well, Josh has been on the ball more. Well, scrum, this one going UNC's way. Nickel irons the foul. Difference so far. It's Dank Klink's 4th goal of his career in the 31st minute. Heading home a corner kick. Set pieces, they will get you.
Beautiful.
This will spring Bertil if he can keep it in. Prop was there. Was it out just in front of him? No, Prop was the one that ushered it out of bounds. It's going to go to UNC, so it was out already.
Look how they work it though, right?
Yeah.
Bertil comes over, you drag Bergie up. There's that space. Now you've got the connection, quick decision making into the corner. There's some bright spots towards the tail end of the first half here that head coach of Virginia Tech, Mike Brizendine, is going to be very happy to point out to his team.
Both of these teams on the outside looking in when it comes to hosting an ACC tournament first round match. UNC 9th and Virginia Tech 10th, got to be in the top 8. Bertil, he has been active. Back to Felicio. No one's there at the top of the box. Klink, the goal scorer. Up to Dugan. Dugan gonna let Mayanja chase it down. Schroeder was there first. Bertil's been really active in that 6th role. They'll find Bertil. He's been lively. You know, so much of this has been played in the midfield, and then we see that long ball over the top, and it's just really had varying degrees of success, and more often than not, it hasn't led to anything for Virginia Tech.
Well, funny, you say varying, I say no. Still a 0 up on the scoreboard. Now,
try to be diplomatic.
To your point, listen, here's the positive side of it. 3 minutes to go. In the last 10 minutes, we've seen 3 balls enter the 18-yard box for UNC. That's the positive step if you're Mike Brizendine, and how you've progressed through here. It's all we're giving you the blueprint for. More movement out of the middle, cleaner decision making, more aggressiveness on the front line, link up play, and you could still be direct at times. The bigger concern right now is actually going to be for the Tar Heels, even though they're sitting on the 1-0 lead. With their changes in the game, they've actually become less threatening up high. The backline and midfield are still connected defensively, which is good, but they don't have that outlet ball they had early on. A lot of that is because of Nacho Abial and his movement. That's something that head coach Carlos Samuano, when he brings them into the dressing room, will say, guys, listen, great first half, got the lead, but we have to be better and more aggressive up high. Put them under pressure with the ball at their feet, but on the outlet passes, give yourself some options.
Well, doesn't that also, Devin, show you the impact of Rygaard Hansen? There's no doubt that he changes the way that they can play offensively. There's no Rygaard Hansen in right now, no Bracken Sarah, and no Abial, so there just haven't been any outlets up top. Bertil Nice job by Kropp. Not out of the woods yet, though. There's Sandmeyer. Bertelli stays with it. Belatrosh surveys, picks out Schroeder. 2 minutes left here in the first stanza. Alvarez shot deflected.
Talk about taking away the aggression from the Tar Heels, quickly playing off the back line. When you pin them in and you keep the ball, you also create a gap right now. Front two and that midfield four puts a lot of pressure out of Jack Sandmeyer and Andrew Check. Hands on the hips right now. They're doing a lot of chasing. Their shape is flat, which is also allowing Virginia Tech to rotate into some of those pockets, create link-up play.
And Virginia Tech did not play in the midweek. We already talked about UNC on the field on Wednesday night. And both of those players you mentioned, Devin Check and Sandmeyer, went the full 90. It's something that college coaches have talked about throughout the years. Just so many matches to prepare for. To the wing for Ruiz Mateos. Blows by Dugan. It's an inviting ball in. No question, the ball has been much more in the UNC defensive third here towards the end. Beltran Alvarez with a hit, but it's right at Cordes. Cordes hasn't had to do much, but he has come up when he has been needed. And right there, that was the first shot on goal for Virginia Tech in this match. Belatrosh pushing forward. That's into Berge. And the first 45 minutes come to a close. From our center official, David Erbacher, the second half is underway. And not surprisingly, it starts with a long ball from Dylan Kropp. Bracken Sarah starting this second half. He came out about midway through the first. Devin, one thing to keep in mind, though, now that we've gotten to the second half, if you're not familiar with NCAA men's soccer, tell us about the substitution rule and how that impacts these teams.
The easiest way to say it is you're out, you're out. Understanding that coaches have
no re-entry.
A finite amount of windows that you can work through now. So navigating the substructure, really interesting chats with managers behind the scenes on if your guy needs a break, how to make sure that you're taking advantage of the system in the first half, getting him into the dressing room, having a conversation. Because come second half time, you want your key players to be able to go the distance, the full 45 minutes of play. If you have to pull them off, they're done for the night.
An extra thing for both Carlos Zambuano and Mike Brizendine to navigate, though they have experience doing so, coming into effect last year. Just another wrinkle. That's why college soccer is a really special thing here in this country. Andy Sullins. First look at the third-year player at Virginia Tech who started his career at their biggest rival, UVA. That was beautiful, but just came to nothing here for North Carolina. Now something might really be on. Frogson was looking for Dugan, but it's cut out. Good defending by Felicio. Butel on the move. He ended the first half and now starts the second. Berge just relieving pressure there all the way back to Arieli, the Barnsley, England native.
Really like this change for Mike Brizendine and Virginia Tech Hokies of bringing Andy Sullins in because of his engine. Keep talking about movement on the front line, how you can change it, adding depth, putting more pressure. Andy Sullins is all about his work rate off the ball, really making that defensive unit feel uncomfortable.
Rygaard Hansen is back in there, and that is a welcome return in a lot of ways for North Carolina. Certainly in their goal-scoring threat. Frogson. Bracken Sarah. There's Nikolai.
What a ball.
Nikolai flips it in, and the flag was raised on the run from Abia. Oh, that was almost picture perfect for the Heels.
I mean, what vision. We talk about weight. That's tight. Yeah, it is so tight on the far side of the screen.
Swallow your whistle there, right?
What a ball it is. What a finish it is.
Well, if the flag is raised, they are going to review it. Devin, correct me if I'm wrong, but if the flag is raised, it's not reviewable.
To me, what I heard, and we're gonna hear this in a second here, if the whistle happens before the ball goes in, it's not a reviewable play. If. The problem is about the timing of it. Listen.
It was
before the ball goes in.
That's my question is why not wait a half a second for that ball to cross the line, because then the play would stand. I'm going to be very interested to find out how this play is reviewable. Okay, so here's what is reviewable and what isn't reviewable.
And here's what's interesting to note, very important, the bottom part of that graphic, determining offside when a goal is scored immediately. The difference is, and that's what we're talking about here, the bottom bullet point, the whistle is blown before the ball goes in. So, as you mentioned, Alex, correctly, if you let it go in and then call it, we're having a different conversation.
There's no controversy there. But clearly, that play was looked at by David Erbacher, and he didn't see any evidence that would have overturned that call. Got to be honest, I'll admit it, I'm a little confused. Uimana. Frogson disrupts his run. Here's Tito Peralta. Uimana. Bertelli. Here's Sandmeyer. Reverses course. Trying to spring Dugan just in front of him on the touchline. And here it's a throw. A depth there.
In case you people at home haven't figured it out by now, we keep talking about the decision making, that long ball. Even just to release, you get yourself up, you take the pressure. After everything that has been deep lying in nature, you ping a ball over and you make Virginia Tech adjust. It is such a great ace in the hole to have for North Carolina that they constantly go back to. Just clean, smart decision making. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Now whistle's going to go against North Carolina, and Uimana to the turf once again.
Oh, that's bad.
This is going to be an immediate yellow card on check. Or is it on
I make the argument it's on Peralta.
It's on Peralta,
Definitely.
yes it is.
He leads studs up here.
Yep. This is going to cause some discussion.
Referee, check it. Check it, ref.
When the ball comes back through, what you want to watch is as 22, Tito Peralta leaves his feet. Watch the studs here. Oh my goodness.
Right as Bracken Sarah is about to make contact.
They might take a look at this. I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to come over and take a look because of the aggressive nature. It's high and the studs following through. Very dangerous.
There is a chance right now that Virginia Tech is going to be down to 10.
This is how you get.
As it is, it's a yellow card on the field.
And you don't want anybody to be thrown out in any game. Oh. And you could read the lips of Mike Brizendine here. He says he gets the ball first. There are plenty of situations in soccer, the angle that you come from, the intensity that you present in a challenge, just because you get the ball isn't always going to win the argument, because you still jeopardize the health of a player. And in this one right here, listen, I threw my weight around. I left my feet all the time. I made a career out of it, but I also got myself on a lot of hot water because of it. Decision making in the moment can do more harm than good, and that could have easily broken someone's ankle. I mean, that's how difficult of a tackle that was.
Yeah. But it is going to stand as simply a yellow card on Peralta, so he's going to get a warning, and that is it. All right, well, Virginia Tech still at even strength, though I'm with you. That could have gone either way.
What's so interesting to me is, while we right now know the laws of the game and how they're applied and it's the right decision, if you and I are on this broadcast 15 or 20 years ago, this game would probably still be going on. That's how much the game has modernized over the years to help protect players in difficult situations like that.
As it is, though, it will give North Carolina a welcome opportunity to potentially put one in on a free kick.
Nacho Abial near post.
There he is, number 7 for UNC. Abial right into the wall. Second chance goes to Nikolai. Tried to inside out and hits the scoreboard. All right, so they dodged one there in a lot of different ways for Virginia Tech.
Didn't get underneath it enough. Nacho Abial, credit to him for being unselfish, bringing it back across to Nikolai. Puts it in the rideshare lot. Much more aggressive to start the second half here for North Carolina. Players higher up. The front two finding support, popping out of the midfield. Defenders accompanying.
And the really good news with that dangerous tackle is that it looks like Bracken Sarah is really no worse for the wear. Because that'd be a very different story if he had to exit this match.
Other side of the coin for Peralta, don't step off your game right now. Keep going. Don't let that tackle affect your decision making.
I guess the one thing is just have to be careful not to earn another one. Milatrash, Felicio. Just one save in this match, and it was the one that was straight at Cordes. This is well done. Promising attack here for Virginia Tech. Bertelli, just too strong a first touch. And there is Nikolai, again, just clearing it forward, trying to relieve that pressure. I mean, does Rygaard Hansen ever stop? His motor seems to be endless.
Do any of them?
That's true.
Just constantly hunting off the ball, putting pressure on the back line, picking up these balls right here, the movement to continue going forward. A really good conversation with head coach Carlos Zamorano on the way to the stadium today. And You know, two things that I took away from it was he wanted to make sure that when they got up, the rest of the unit didn't lag. They've accomplished that so far, meaning you hit the reset and the defensive line structure also follows, but also squeezing the field, squeezing it as tight as possible, getting numbers around the ball so that when you travel into space, you've got support, but then you make it so difficult for Virginia Tech to play out. Both those points, they've done all night long.
And they've gotten the goal that they needed off of the corner kick. Dank Klink heading it home. So it has been, you know, the target approached and the goal achieved for the moment, though there's those 36 fateful moments left here in this match. A lot of time for Virginia Tech to potentially get a result. And you would think that they would potentially take a point on the road. Abial tripped up. Advantage is played. Dugan looking to whip it in right at Joseph. The 26th meeting all time between these two teams. First since 2023 when UNC won in much more decisive fashion, 4-1 here in Chapel Hill. And Mike Brizendine, just 4 results, 2 wins, 2 draws in 17 matches against the Tar Heels. Looking to reverse that trend. Will it be here? Butel to the byline and just cropping extra careful there. Quick restart. Bellatrash. Felicio. Bertelli head up. Arielli is going to ping it. Skips right into the hands of Cordes. Just the second save that he has had to make so far in this match, and neither of them have been too troublesome. Bertel and Felicio have combined well on that left side. This will open up here for Peralta. He is going to have the foul committed against him this time by Rygaard Hansen. He had really put some pressure on himself to score. Got his first goal of the year at Lipscomb recently, but 4 goals, 4 assists for his career. He is a player that not only works off the ball, but if he gets it in a dangerous opportunity, he could very well make this 2. We have our first ACC Network men's basketball game of the season. It's Friday night. An exhibition, number 11 Louisville hosting 19th ranked Kansas at the Yum Center. Coverage begins 7:30 Eastern.
I dare anyone to walk into either one of those locker rooms and tell them it's an exhibition.
This coverage knows no bounds. Exhibition basketball. That'll be a good one, Louisville and Kansas.
I need to get back to the games on the aircraft carrier. Was a big fan of that.
Those were awesome.
Oh, so great. Except for when Mother Nature and the dew took over.
Yeah, when you couldn't play.
Yeah.
Now Sandmeyer went down. Yeah, he knocked heads. That player on the ground for Virginia Tech.
Quickly recognized by both benches. Great job by head referee David Erbacher. In games, sometimes you're going to run into incidental contact. You could make an argument there that the challenge on Peralta, a foul by Sandmeyer. You don't care right now. Most importantly is the safety of the 2 young men.
Jack Sandmeyer, the grad student from San Diego. I mean, what an incredible story for him. He starts his career at UC Davis, and then after leaving the team, tried out for the San Diego club team and didn't even make it. He thought he was done with soccer, but the club coach calls San Diego coach Brian Quinn and says, you have to see this kid Sandmeyer. And he's gotten thousands of calls like that throughout his career, but gave him a tryout. What did he do? He started 17 games the next season. Unbelievably, had the header to beat Duke in the NCAA tournament last year, was all WCC. Hopefully he is okay, and he is not only making an impact, but in a lot of ways, Devin, he is running North Carolina's midfield.
We'll bring this whole sequence full circle now. Brian Quinn, an absolute legend, by the way. United States men's national team dominates the West Coast. San Diego having an incredible year, number 5 in the RPI, part of the committee's top 16. His son, Aiden Quinn, Bradley and Akron, went to a national title game. And now we'll go back to the halftime segment when we talk about scouting and the development of players, getting more eyeballs on guys that are coming through the ranks, making sure that we're helping them continue to push these levels that we've set. Bar's got to come higher. Sandmeyer, a great example of that.
Both players are going to head off. Looks like Sandmeyer is getting ready to check back in on the referee's whistle. Peralta goes to the bench. We'll have a new player coming in here for Virginia Tech. Going to bring in Tiago Portela, a freshman from Braga, Portugal. And Sandmeyer re-enters the pitch and immediately is forced into action. Bracken Sarah. Still Bracken Sarah. Maybe one or two dribbles too many. Almost had that important insurance second right there.
It's good defending by Arieli. And Bracken Sarah should have hit it in the moment, but the defender tracking back over quickly closed down the space, removing that option, forced him to release the ball.
Getting near the half-hour mark here left in this match. Arieli looks to track it down and keep it in.
It's one thing that I've been very impressed with both defensive units tonight, Alex, is while maybe we haven't seen the greatest decisions up high and you'd like to see them evolve, defensively, stoic in nature, not rattled whatsoever, stepping in at the right times, game-saving tackles and clean ball movement off the back line.
The leading scorer for Virginia Tech, Dagger Traustason, did not really make the impact I think Mike Brizendine had hoped for when he came on the pitch to start this match. I'm interested to see when Briz goes back to him. Reintroduces him to try to get his leading goal scorer involved. Schroeder. Rygaard Hansen doesn't stop. Oh, almost were able to get him and spring him free. Wonderful clearance away. Necessary from Schroeder.
Pretty sure we're not too far from seeing that young man back on. Traustason
getting his instructions.
Just a little bit lax on that front line for Virginia Tech right now. What a run it has been for the Icelandic player. It's the first couple of matches. His first appearance wasn't until September 9th with Furman. Took 4 games to net his first. Now 6 in his last 4. And he's an interesting journey, too, from a recruiting standpoint. He had 28 appearances overall at the professional level. But he had 11 and 3 goals. All the goals, by the way, coming in the spring and summer before he picked up an injury.
Bertil was searching for Sullins there. Yeah, that pro team that he played for in Iceland, in Reykjavik, Hafnar Fjordur.
Attaboy.
Had to get it in.
You deserve something for that.
Thank you. Well, having a trip to Iceland under your belt helps a little bit with the
It negates
pronunciation.
the prize.
It does. That's right. That's actually why we went, just so I could do that.
We were
This is
college.
an Iceland commercial.
Yeah, we were
but,
at College Cup in 2020. The spring of 21, it was the 2020 National Championships, and there was a young man who was playing outside back, Jay Vidovich, Pitt Panthers. And I will never forget the club that he played for, because even though I spent quite a bit of time myself playing in Germany, I'd never heard of the club. It was a 5th and 6th division club. Spielvereinigung Unterhaching.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just like this attack here for Virginia Tech as it develops. But check. Is there any chance you could do that one more time?
Spielvereinigung Unterhaching.
Where's that located?
It's on the south side of Bavaria. And the reason I say it is about, you know, we got to keep talking about the development. You bring in international players. Trest Osterson comes back in. Declan Quill is going to join the ranks as well. One of the things that happened over the years, going back to the proposed changes from U.S. Soccer, is that because the pathway to professional has become so much more clear, you're seeing the 4- and 5-star recruits that would frequent the ACC and top programs around the country. They're jumping ship because they have a chance to go and develop at a different rate in different areas in a professional environment. Coaches have had to evolve as well. The international player, the transfer market, the age of all of these guys have changed.
Mike Brisendine bringing on the full court press here with 28 minutes left. And you saw some of his top offensive weapons coming on in Quill and Traustason. He'll be on presumably for the end of this match. Felicio, a little half clearance there, still in the box. No whistle on the run from Abiel. And here comes Bertelli. Now he had some help, Butel. That got past Kropp. But Berge is there to clean it up. It's Traustason. Felicio. Traustason wanted him to float it over the top. Butel to the byline. Needed to get there and did. Berge has been excellent with some help there.
Long go, long go. Hey, long. Hey, it's long.
A savior on that back line in a lot of ways out of his center back spot.
Win this shit, win this shit. Run it on 24 though. We need him. Hey,
There's Parker O'Farrell checking in for the first time, a senior from Raleigh. Didn't play last game. That was the only one that he did not feature in. Lofted into the box, right by the penalty spot, but it's going to be a Virginia Tech foul.
Apologies for that. Apparently some of these young men are taking French as an elective. I know you would never, Alex.
Don't they know there are microphones on that field?
We were on a German language a second ago. Who knew the Liberty was going to venture a little bit further west? Home of democracy. You know, why not? Such great heritage here at North Carolina. Might as well go full-blown international.
That is where Giannis Belitrash grew up, in Paris. I will say that the sight and sounds that we've gotten from our crew tonight have been second to none.
Spot on.
Check. Nikolai. Bracken Sarah asking some more questions now. O'Farrell with his first touch. Bracken Sarah unloads. Got to be better than that from that distance to beat Sam Joseph, however.
It's frustration from Bracken Sarah. He knew he's just got space and time. The problem is, you're right on the sniff of it. The angle and distance, just got to hit a worldie to be able to take down Sam Joseph from there. Still need more movement in the midfield right now. They've isolated the 6 for Virginia Tech. Too much pressure on him, so you come back to the outside, but now your 2 point men Bellatrosh and Bertelli, they're matched up one-on-one with Sandmeyer and Czech. If you rotate off the ball quicker, you have more options to play through. Same goes for the outside backs. Push higher, give them someone to work off of.
Space opens up now for Quill, who has an assist this season, walled off by Abial. Oh, that was dangerous.
Easy.
Quill bounced him out, or Arieli that was, who got to it first. We've seen Sam Joseph already in one pretty precarious position.
Good news is behind the scenes, far side of your screen, Declan Quill back up in movement. He was pretty uncomfortable there for a second.
Bellatrosh was looking to switch field to Quill. Dank Klink with his 31st minute goal has the Tar Heels a goal to the good at this point, but Virginia Tech is very much still in this match. If they can get one spot of brilliance, one great link up, or is North Carolina going to do it here? Yes, they will. Finally, Bertil Rygaard Hansen rewarded for his tireless work.
Ask for more movement from this front line of North Carolina to create separation between the center backs and the defensive line when it ships over. Great job here as Bracken-Sarah drags him out. Now you're creating space in between the two center backs. You don't get enough of closure drifting in with them, and instead your holding midfielder has to drop to close the space. Love that peel off right there. Recognizing on the diagonal that you can quickly step through. And if you're Rygaard Hansen, look at the hips. First touch in front of him, pick your poison, doubling it for the Tar Heels.
The reward for Rygaard Hansen, a beautiful flick on from Bracken-Sarah, and it is 2-0 North Carolina. A house of horrors for Virginia Tech here at Torrance Field, and that continues. So Frogson, as well as Bracken-Sarah, are going to get the assist there. And the goal is number 2 on the season for Rygaard Hansen. And Devin, this is exactly what Carlos Zambrano was looking for, that combination in the attacking third between those two uber-talented forwards in the finishing.
A couple of times tonight we've referenced the left flank and Nacho Abial. I talked about it in the open, how well they've developed the relationship with Bracken-Sarah. Understanding that Abial's not involved, it is still Bracken-Sarah and his understanding of the system, right? That's one of the biggest things that he has to be able to take advantage of for this Tar Heels team is the ball at his feet. He's really good back to goal, and he's extremely unselfish. So much so, Carlos Zambrano would probably like him to be a little bit more aggressive in one-on-one situations. But in that moment, always looking at the next level, and great ball slipped right through for the second on the night.
This has just been a match of moments in so many ways. Klink's opener on a corner, and a great passage of play right there, opening up. Rygaard Hansen left no doubt. And now Virginia Tech has it all to do. Bergie was in for Nikolai. North Carolina has only conceded 8 times all season. So they are going to have to give up a quarter of their goals in 13 matches here in the last 21-50 in order for Virginia Tech to even salvage a point out of this.
Take your time here, slow it down. Sandmeyer will make his way up, as will Callum Frogson. The opening goal on the night was the big bodies working together. Expect something similar. You could also use some trickery here and work the space atop the box.
Nikolai finds no one.
Or go that direction.
I liked your idea better.
Yeah, what do I know? Stick it over the end line and live to talk about it. Put it on the highlight reel.
What does this Virginia Tech team have in its boots? Only 15 goals on the season in 11 matches. They have had trouble scoring this year. They do have some very solid results, though. They've drawn number 2 Marshall, a draw against Virginia, splitting the points against number 23 Notre Dame. But they only have 1 win in ACC play, and that was what I think got the Hokies feeling pretty confident going into this match. And when you get to number 39 in the RPI and talking about an at-large bid, that is when you start to have a few sleepless nights as the season closes. That might have hit a hand. It's going to go trickle out of bounds.
I know, baby, but I need you. Let's go. Come on, guys. Left in here, you know where it's coming.
Mike Brizendine made 6 straight tournaments from 2016 to 2021 in his 17th year. You need a strong finish here and then a strong finish to end the season as well. Cal and Clemson still to come in the ACC.
Just pick it up, okay?
Felicio.
Weak side.
You know, what we were talking about, Devin, you don't want to let it get to the end of the season where the ACC tournament decides your fate. And that's unfortunately where it seems like the Hokies are headed if they can't get a result here. And then at Clemson at Riggs Field on Halloween is no cakewalk by any means. I mean, Duke found that out the hard way on Friday.
Spot on there. Would say that there's 2 schools of thought to it. Fully in agreement that better to handle the business now, right? Don't leave it up to fate.
Sure.
Don't get into tournament time, limited minutes. You don't know what it's going to be. Would also be quick to remind people that because of the weight that the ACC conference carries, you're never really out of it. That's the great thing about it. Because the difficulty of schedule and quality of performance is always so high, you win one, you win a second one, you win a third one. In recent memory, you could look at a Wake Forest team last year heading into the ACC tournament who was outside of the top 40 come tournament time. What did they do? They won the ACC title.
Check. UNC looking for a third. Nikolai cuts it back and tees it up and hits it to Durham.
That Wake Forest team would have easily have booked postseason play even without the win and penalties over Clemson. North Carolina not thinking about that right now. They're thinking about job done now. And for the ACC overall team that's regularly pumping 9 teams into the NCAA tournament, the good news is they've got 9 in the top 40. What row?
Rygaard Hansen, Bracken Sarah, unselfish, and Rygaard Hansen has his brace. Steak dinner coming up for Gabriel Bracken Sarah, putting that on a tee for his teammate Rygaard Hansen.
Commentators, Kirsch, gave so much credit about 10 minutes ago about how good the decision-making off the back line has been. The response, because the touch comes back to the inside, prohibiting Schroeder to be able to continue to go to the far side of the field. Can't respond quick enough. Great pressure there by North Carolina. A bit fortunate here for Bracken Sarah that he doesn't then respond. Schroeder going back to the outside. He overcommits to the interior, opening up that window. The one-on-ones for Bracken Sarah, probably could have hit it himself there. A better defensive team, he definitely should have. Doesn't matter now. Limited time for the Hokies to get back into this, but have to retain belief.
Surely, though, if you are part of the Tar Heel faithful at Dorrance Field tonight, You are smelling 3 points. Rygaard Hansen. We talked about just his indomitable spirit and energy, and he does not give up on a single play, and it is nice to see him rewarded for that. They're going to play the advantage here to Virginia Tech and now bring it back.
He takes a decent knock here. Bellatrosh. Yannis puts his body on the line. Good refereeing, by the way, to allow this to play advantage going forward, and then when the advantage is eliminated within proximity to the initial infraction, brings it back. And the width of the field for Virginia Tech, understanding that this two-striker system and the aggression you get out of Nikolai, easy.
Bellatrosh puts both hands straight into Nikolai. Just to talk him to as they both got tangled up there. Certainly some frustration.
You want to maintain the mark, Alex, but what they're losing right now is consistent threats outside. Uymana on the far side, he wants the ball. He's just not getting it enough. He's got chalk on his feet. You want that from Felicio. Because he's not coming, he gets narrow. Up high, the whole front line has to take a different look. The starting point should be outside or tight on the right shoulder. Instead, they're caught in this gray area of channel, and you lose the ability to play through or be threatening down in the corner.
And we've seen the press for Virginia Tech wreak havoc on UNC in that first half. It's been the opposite way around. No whistle there from center official David Erbacher. And now North Carolina can sit back and see this one out for the most part, even though there's still about a quarter hour remaining. What options do you have if you're Mike Brizendine at this point?
He's got plenty of options. He's just a little frustrated right now. Head coach of Virginia Tech. You know, the ball that just went out over the end line, probably could have argued there's a foul there atop the box. There's emotion at play. Just wants his guys to settle down and get back to taking the road less traveled, which is the easiest route. Play that ball now. Instead, you go 3v1 to the inside, and you close down your option. You play that into the corner. You got 4 players inside the top of the 18. These are also young men who are trying to navigate their academic schedule. They're on the road. It's been a frustrating night. Your decision-making starts to get clouded. Sam Joseph in goal. A guy like Kevin Schroeder, who's been here, who's seen what Mike Brizendine wants. You want to maintain communication and give these guys a path to continue to go and chase what is still an opportunity to get back in this game.
And one thing that North Carolina has done exceptionally well is they have closed down the threat posed by Dagger Traustason. He had 5 goals last week, and he hasn't really seen much of the ball at all, or had many opportunities at that. His back line for North Carolina has limited Virginia Tech to 4 shots, only 2 of them on target, and they were both straight into the arms of Andrew Cordes. This will be in a lot of ways a learning experience for Traustason as well. You know, you go on the road, very hostile environment, difficult to play, and he's only a freshman. And remember, he started the season late because of an injury, so he's getting his feet wet in terms of this conference, the toughest in the country. Dank Klink's going to come in. And Bertil Rygaard Hansen is going to say goodnight after giving Virginia Tech now UNC a 3-0 lead with his brace.
Curtain call, 2 goals in 7 minutes. Body positioning for Rygaard Hansen. The ball that comes back through giving himself the chance to really pick out either corner. And then not only on this turnover is it a good layoff, but the fact that he keeps himself in an onside position, doesn't try and get that ball slipped in, instead forces the back line to condense itself under Bracken Sarah, sits idly by, bags his second of the night.
That is a leader of the line type performance when UNC desperately needed a bounce back after Wednesday night's loss to UAB. No doubt, Rygaard Hansen, the man to come through, the sophomore from Denmark. So it's looking more and more like it's going to be 3 points for the Tar Heels, and they will move to 10 in the table. And so those 10 points will also leapfrog them over Syracuse and into a potential hosting position at number 7 in the standings at the moment. All teams will still have 2 more ACC matches remaining after this one. This closes out quite an eventful week. So a couple of 3-0 before this on Friday. NC State and Clemson both bagging 3-goal wins. NC State over Notre Dame and Clemson at home over number 10 Duke.
That's a big win. NC State on the road at Notre Dame. Chad Riley's team defensively stout, started to find the complement on the attacking side of the ball, and it's exactly what Virginia Tech is looking for right now, though, with Stern talking to in the Cards.
Speaking of the Cards, they drew Wake Forest on Friday. If you continue down the ACC scoreboard, Louisville and Wake Forest in Winston-Salem.
Carlos Samuano, professionalism right now with 12 minutes to go. Got the 3 goals, that's great. Now it's about locking it up on the back line. They were on an incredible run prior to the 2-1 loss against UAB.
O'Farrell looking to get involved. Abiel just tracks it down. North Carolina can certainly take their time here with a 3-goal cushion.
416 minutes. Gave up a goal in the 34th minute in a 1-1 draw against SMU. Then they blanked Virginia. Same thing against Louisville. Lithcom fell to the wayside. St. Thomas felt the wrath. And then UAB had other ideas. He'll be happy so far. 80 minutes, though, does not earn your stripes here.
Also, you just mentioned SMU. They keep winning.
Yeah.
3-2 over BC on the road. That was a really important win there for the Mustangs, and they are on 11 points. Currently in the table, they sit 4th. So that would mean that they could host 2 potential matches, both a first round and a quarterfinal, before the scene shifts to Cary, North Carolina. Last ACC match of the week was Pitt 4 and Syracuse 2. Surprisingly, that is the first win for Jay Vidovich's team this season in ACC play. But a big one because they now move up to 4 points.
Everybody in ACC play trying to work themselves up into a top 8 spot, get a home game. Virtually North Carolina is there. Stanford in the driver's seat, and really, you know, Clemson and Virginia, understanding mathematically everybody else is still in it. Couple of games to go. Interesting crossover matches to chase down the #1 spot. Stanford's got Cal and SMU. SMU not only has Stanford, they have Clemson. So this is where those top spots start to run into each other. Within all of it, the most organized and consistent team in college soccer, Stanford Cardinal, who are top the ACC. The most well-rounded and dynamic team, the Cavaliers, 10 games unbeaten right now, 6-0-4.
Whipped into the back post, back to the middle. It's snared by Cordes right in front of Traustason.
Big win for the Cavaliers today. 2-1 over Jamie Frank's Denver. Reese Miller, what a story for that young man. Did his ACL early last season. Didn't make his first start until the dismantling of Wake Forest about a month and a half ago. Scored his first goal tonight since he went down in August of last year. Incredible journey for the Houston Dynamo product.
Devin, tournament starts today. Who is your favorite? Is it Stanford? Is it Virginia? Someone else?
ACC tournament or the national tournament?
Let's do ACC. First, Dank Klink, though, looking to get an assist along with his goal.
Mentioned Cavaliers, best team in the country for me. The knock I would put on the Stanford Cardinal is their strength of schedule coming in at 77. Play a lot of teams on the West Coast. Their ACC schedule hasn't been overly threatening as of yet. Got a couple of games to go in that. Clemson's attack is invigorating. It makes me sick to my stomach as a former center back to think about all of the options they have, that they just throw everything in the kitchen sink at you.
And excited that you don't have to defend against.
Bingo. And now defensively, they're starting to find a little rhythm. Got a nice shutout the other night against Duke, who's pretty solid on the attacking side of the ball. For Clemson, it's going to be about balance. They can win against any team in the country whenever they want. But they've also slipped up against, we'll say, a lower end team like Queens early on in the season, regardless of performance. You can't do that if you want to win a national title. I really like those three teams. ACC tournament and then beyond. If you step outside the conference, I'll bring West Virginia into consideration. Nick Carlin-Voigt, Portland Pilots, really good front five, and how they work the ball. I know Princeton holds the #1 overall spot, but they have to be perfect.
That was my question.
They have
Where
to
do
be
you put
perfect.
Princeton in all this?
The Ivy League doesn't carry enough weight in their conference schedule overall. They're actually having a really good season, but you know, Princeton, they had a blemish earlier this year. It's good defensively. It's good attacking wise. They've got an incredible goalkeeper, but you hit tournament time, even if you're at home securing that #1 spot, you will feel the wrath of some talent, the likes you've never seen in Ivy League play.
That's the question, is like, how prepared is Princeton going to be for that opportunity? Even you're going to see great teams, even if you're hosting, as you said. I would wonder, you know, there's nothing they can do. They play in the Ivy League, and there's great soccer going on in the Ivy League. But if an ACC team comes in there, they're going to be prepared. They're going to be game challenged.
When I look at an Ivy League team, Kevin Anderson, when he was at Columbia, Bo O'Shaughnessy, Chad Riley's at Notre Dame prior, at Dartmouth. When you look at those teams, I always look at what type of adversity they've experienced throughout the season. Princeton have controlled a lot of their games. So you talking about an opponent, ACC or not, Alex, being prepared. Even if you've been in the ACC, if you're in the driver's seat all season long, any manager will tell you, we need something to throw us off the rocker, to feel uncomfortable. We just talked about the Clemson Tigers. They've already experienced that. You go down a goal, how do you fight back? When you're at home and someone comes into your house, do you have an answer?
Felicio in front of goal. The whistle is going to be against Virginia Tech. This is a perfect example, right? Let's say Virginia Tech, you know, even if they don't come away with any points here, which it's certainly looking unlikely, but you're playing a team in North Carolina on the road. They're number 25 in RPI. Even with this result, you're probably going to move up in terms of that number. You're 39 right now. Let's say this is, you know, one of the teams that is towards the end of the at-large bids. If Virginia Tech, let's say, goes to Princeton to play, that's going to be difficult for the Tigers, because the way that Virginia Tech prepares throughout the entire season. You see Marshall, you see Virginia, and of course UNC here on their home field.
It's not just how they prepare, but if you stay with that matchup, Virginia Tech and Princeton, the key factor for both of them, ball dominant. They want to be able to control the game in tempo overall. When someone comes in, Virginia Tech's going to say, hey, we're going to touch the ball 500 times. No problem whatsoever. What's your answer? Do you have something else in your bag, and you're not just a one-trick pony? Great goalkeeping, decent in the midfield. They're aggressive up high. But if you have to adjust your overall game plan, especially, Alex, you give up an early goal, that's when you see teams get into trouble.
At home, too. Was almost taken right out of the hand of Joseph for a potential 4th goal.
think he just
Is that
took
Sandmeyer going up there?
Sandmeyer. That would be the second one tonight. Give him credit. Really aggressive up high. More the ball than Sam Joseph creating any sort of contact.
Joseph's gloves got in there, but we saw him head-to-head earlier on in this match. It doesn't exactly look like that's what happened, and Joseph making sure he's okay, but he got some blood on his hands there.
To our point about strength of schedule, we gave you a glimpse of the top 16. Bryant sitting at number 11. Coach poll, they're in top 5. They also play, their strength of schedule is 76th in the country. And when you start to talk about RPI, that's the Bible for coaches, where they look at who you play, where you play, who do they then play. Their opponent's strength of schedule, Bryant, is 101. So they don't have the greatest schedule in terms of quality of competition in general, yet alone who their opponents are then playing. That Georgetown team, they have 7 games against quad 1 teams. That means you're looking at teams inside the top 30 in the country. They're one of only 3 teams in the nation. One of them off the top of my head is Pitt. Think about how that's worked out for Jay Vidovich's team. They are extremely talented, dealing with a ton of injuries, trying to figure things out. Only 1 win in the top 7 for Georgetown, but they've got 3 draws too.
And draws are
extra
important now that, of course, overtime doesn't happen anymore. The only counterpoint to that is that Vermont wins the national championship last year, right? It is possible for a team like that to go all the way. I wouldn't say it's what's going to happen the majority of time, but it is possible.
So I'll bring this full circle right now. We talk about weight. Vermont last year wins the national championship, come out of the America East. All they've done since then, which is hilarious to even say it this way, has been nearly perfect this year. They're 14 games unbeaten, 9-0-5, a 24-game unbeaten streak. Where does the committee put them? Not even in the top 5. That's how difficult it is to navigate the landscape of Division I college soccer.
Even for a perfect team.
The ball
Chipped in, looking for the opportunity to just get one on the board. Quill was there. Traustason almost got his head to it. That was the best chance he's had all match. It's Harrison Krieg checking in number 12 for Virginia Tech. Krieg's a great story, too, because he was a former walk-on after playing with the club team at the Hokies. Started 9 games last year, 3 this season, as he now makes his 9th appearance of the year. The Irvington, New York native, just north of New York City on the Hudson River. Virginia Tech has threatened. Nothing close, though. This is over the top of Brackensara again, but Joseph there to nab it. So it's going to be back to the drawing board for the Hokies. They have Winthrop on Wednesday hosting, and then they will bring in Cal as well, and then finish at Clemson on decision day, Halloween night.
If, it's a big if, Clemson get a little help from either SMU or Cal, they could be looking at a title game to hoist an ACC trophy regular season. Again, big if, the way that Stanford playing right now, handball.
They've got a lot of momentum, though, and coming off of that 3-0 clean sheet against Duke. Coming into the season, number 10, but again, we talk about being tested, being untested. That was a Blue Devils team that, in some ways, got a little exposed by Clemson. With
Not the best day at the office.
I mean, such a potent attack, right? And we never saw it materialize because of, in a lot of ways, the teams that they were playing, the teams they were scoring against.
Two big things, though, I would say that carry an asterisk for me in that result. Number one, they did not have their starting center back, Alexander Vukovic. Now, it still would have been a very difficult task, but the transfer who played in the national title game for Marshall last year, who's come over to John Kerr's Blue Devils, who's unavailable for selection. Another one, the bigger piece, Kenan Hott. He's on that Mac Herman midseason awards list because of how good he exhibits control, and he holds tempo for the whole team. He was on yellow card accumulation suspension. So your starting center back and captain, your starting midfielder, a 4-year player who has seen everything. Top 16 rankings, runs to the Elite 8, not available. They really struggled for momentum all night long.
Yeah, and you could say, okay, it was 3-0, but just those changes alone make it a very different match. A full-strength Duke would be very interesting at Riggs Field on Friday night. We just, unfortunately, didn't get to see it. So less than a minute left here at Dorrance Field as the Tar Heels look to close out another dominant victory. The last 2 matchups now against Virginia Tech. North Carolina's gotten a 3-goal win. Dank Klink in the 31st minute, and then just 6 minutes apart, Rygaard Hansen with his brace. And that'll do it. Mission accomplished. An excellent bounce back and a nice night at the office. The friendly confines here in Chapel Hill for Carlos Samuano and the Tar Heels. Virginia Tech 0 and North Carolina 3.